Welcome to Dirt Diaries, the podcast where the women of agriculture get real. From muddy boots to boardrooms, we're digging into the unfiltered stories of the FarmHers, ranchers, and every her shaping the future of ag. This isn't just shop talk, it's real talk. We're covering career paths, big wins, hard lessons, and everything in between. So whether you live it every day or you're just ag curious, pop in your earbuds and get ready. These are the raw, inspiring, and wildly relatable conversations you won't hear anywhere else. Let's dig in. Hey everyone, welcome back to Dirt Diaries. Today's guest is someone who truly does it all, and I've known her for a while. Shea Durfey grew up in Australia's rodeo circuit. She's a champion barrel racer, a chart-topping country music artist with multiple #1 singles, and an entrepreneur whose business, like Shea Baby and Shea Michelle Buckles, are making waves in the Western world. But beyond the arena, the stage, and the business world, Shea is also a wife to world champion tie-down roper Tyson Durfey. She's a mom and navigating the balance of family life while continuing to build her own legacy. In our conversation, we dive into how she's reinvented herself across music, rodeo, and business, and the lessons she's learned along the way, and the faith that truly keeps her grounded through it all. Shea's story is filled with resilience, authenticity, and the reminder that you can be more than just one thing. You can be everything you're called to be. So let's do it. Let's get dirty with Shea. Shea Durfey is joining me on Dirt Diaries in between all of her busy things she has going on. Oh my gosh, I'm just so glad that I got to pull you away for a second. I just saw you recently at Dallas Market because what is it that you don't do, Shea? I mean, you are a mother and a wife. I'm going to say that first of all. You're a great friend to a lot of people, but outside of that circle, I mean, you own a clothing line. You are a recording artist. You even ride. You do it all. Like, when do you have time for anything?
Coffee. Coffee is a really good friend of mine these days, but I do have a good support team system. Like, seriously, the only way I could get back into doing a lot of those things you mentioned is with a good team around me. I mean, I would like to say I do it all by myself, but I have a great team. So, I mean, to start off, I have a supportive husband, which definitely helps. From the time we had kids, our kids have always traveled with us and been very much part of everything we did. So to them, being busy and being on the road is fun. It's not a chore, which helps as a parent. Like, that really definitely helps being able to bring them along and know that they want to be there. With the businesses, I mean, really the truth is, I feel like God closes doors and opens doors at the right time, because the businesses came about because I had doors closed and I got to a point, obviously I'm sure we'll get into it, but I had a record deal in Nashville. I got signed very young in Australia, did my stuff there, and then I signed a record deal in Nashville. And I packed up my whole world and I moved to the States. And then that record label, we were in the middle of promoting my single. It was doing great at radio. That label literally shuts down overnight, which was just, I mean, it was a huge eye-opener, because since I was 16, it was like the sky was a limit. I mean, I just didn't think I was stoppable. But it was definitely a huge humbling moment. But it also made me be like, well, I have to make money now. Like, I have to pay my own bills. Oh, this is going to suck. So I had to, get creative and figure out, if I wanted to stay in the US without a record deal at the time, like, how was I going to make it work? The easy thing was move home to Australia and continue my career there and be just fine. But I just didn't feel like God had opened that door to bring me to the States for it not to be something more than what it had been. That's when I started the Buckle Company. And it didn't come about easy. I remember sitting at Panera Bread. That was my go-to. And every evening, because they stayed open really late and I didn't want to go to a bar and do this. So I'd hang out at Panera Bread because I'm super cool, right? And I would cold call rodeo associations. I was like, when my parents have a belt buckle company, that'll be an easy thing I can do. Okay, I'm going to sell belt buckles. I know nothing about this, but I'm going to figure it out. So I started like sketching up ideas and trying to come up with new, unique ideas. And my parents let me use their factory. And I'm telling you, the most mortifying thing is cold calling people. It is so embarrassing and it's the worst. But I was like, you know what? I either do this, and every 100 people I would call, maybe 2 or 3 would be like, sure, like, show us what you can do. So I probably called 1,000 people to be able to make the whole 30 grand I made the first year. I knew I had to make $30,000 to support myself. And it's exactly what I made the first year. But I look back now and we have the belt buckle company, and then we have the Shea baby kids clothing. And I met Tyson during that time of, I guess, rest from the music industry. I had just been in it for, I got thrown in at such a young age.
Mm-hmm.
It was just, I didn't know anything else. And like my identity was very much so in how many number one songs I had and how many, people heard my songs on the radio. And it was just a very humbling moment to like have to sit back and figure out, okay, like, well, who am I if I don't have this? So, I had to stay busy doing other things.
Well, and busy you are. And I want to take us back a little bit. Talk to, or just tell our listeners and our viewers. So you left Australia, you came over here. Obviously, you mentioned all the doors that were opened, and then kind of got shut on you. But tell us how you met Tyson, and take us to where you are today with the beautiful family that you guys have. And again, wow, we're still rocking and rolling. You guys are doing a lot.
Thank you. So rewind, for those that don't know me, I'm Australian. That's why my accent's very confused. I've been here now for 15 years, but I grew up in a rodeo family. So my parents were both Australian champion rodeo athletes. As long as I can remember, I've been on horses. I mean, we lived on the road for the first 4 years of my life. We didn't have a house. We did the whole live on the road thing.
Yeah.
So marrying an American rodeo cowboy was just like, oh, this is normal to me. Between touring and rodeo, I was like, oh, it's fine to be gone half the year. Anyway, I lived in America when I was 9 and 10 years old. My dad actually rode bulls in the PBR World Finals. So that's how I first got acquainted with America. And that's where I fell in love with country music. The 90s countries was everything.
That's cool. I didn't know that. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. So we rodeoed with my dad. Like we there was 5 of us, and we didn't have enough money to like fly to all the PBR. So we would do a lot of miles in the car. So we would listen to all the radio, and I really fell in love with music there. I moved home to Australia. I started singing the national anthem at rodeos because I tried the talent quest and I didn't win anything, and they said I was terrible and I didn't fit the mold. So I was like, well, I guess the rodeo people will accept me. So I went to rodeos and would do the anthem, and then I would be competing. So I bow race breakaway. And then funny enough, I was the first girl to make the national finals in the junior bull riding. I don't know why.
Really?
So I rode bulls. I know. Well, my brother didn't, and my dad was a bull rider. And then the guys could do all the events in the juniors. They could bow race and breakaway rope too. And I was never able to win the all round because they would have the extra events. So I said to my dad, I said, is there a rule? And he said, absolutely not. And I was like, well, my dad trained the best in the world how to ride bulls, and he had a bucking machine. So we spent an entire summer, I was 14, learning how to bull ride, and got second in my first rodeo. And then the boys were my best friends, and I'd be pulling their bull ropes. When I signed a record deal, my label said, I don't know about this bull riding thing. We may have to toss in the towel for that one. So I retired at 16 years old from bull riding.
I don't blame you, but that is impressive that you even did that.
Okay. So I'm telling all this to lead up to like Tyson and my story. So I signed a record deal right before I turned 21, moved to the States, thought it was a huge deal, thought I was going to be the next biggest thing like Taylor Swift. God closed doors. I had to figure out what I wanted to do. So in between living in Nashville, still songwriting, still pursuing my music, I would go to Texas because I just felt like that was closer to home, how I grew up. I got connected with some Western brands and did some modeling here and there. And I was actually at Houston Rodeo modeling for a company. So they had allowed me to go down to the hospitality. And Tyson tells the story better than me, but he was down there. I knew who he was, obviously. He had still made the finals, but here's the thing, like, can we he was the nice guy. Like, Tyson's just a nice guy. And I didn't date the nice guys. I dated like the bad boys and like the ones that you would never want to marry. And that like your parents were second guessing, obviously. And I'm thinking back now was second guessing my choices as well. But I knew when I met Tyson, I knew that if I talked to him too much, he's the type of guy you would marry. And I was 23 and I was like, I'm just not there. Like, I am not ready to get married. And I was really mean. I mean, I was nice. I always replied to every message he would send. I was always very, very nice. But he would ask two questions, my phone number, and if I'd go to dinner. And I would answer everything but those two questions. So for like 9 months, he didn't have my phone number. We just talked on Facebook. And then I finally needed tickets to a rodeo. So I had to message him and be like, hey, my parents are here. They need tickets to the Dodge Circuit Finals rodeo. You got any tickets? And he did. And he was like, you know what? I'll give you tickets, but you have to go to breakfast. No, you have to go to dinner with me, is what he said. And I was like, dang, that's like kind of,
He's like, gotcha.
I was like, that's kind of like a more of a like sexual type of meal. Like that's really like, I was like, how about breakfast? We'll do breakfast. So we had breakfast. And then after that, we stayed in touch more, and he flew to Nashville. And I did say to him, I said, you have to ask my dad to date me, because if my dad doesn't like you, like it is not going to work. Like it's just not. Like me and my dad were tight. So the poor guy had to ask my dad to date me. So he asked my dad to date me at the NFL one year. And then 10 months later, that October we were married. But yeah, so he was very persistent. He never gave up. So I'm thankful for his persistency, because
and he was patient too.
No, but clearly we all know, like he had other girlfriends in between, and I was probably talking to other guys, but we both knew we liked each other as friends, and we knew there was more, but I wasn't going to commit. But he wasn't, I guarantee he wasn't just like sitting waiting by his phone. He probably was like, you're how old are you now? Yeah, probably at the time he was. But so anyway, long story short, we got married, and that was a great time for me, because that was in between record deals and I was starting businesses. And obviously being married to somebody in the rodeo industry helps the belt buckle company and brings more awareness to it. So, we grew these companies together, and it's amazing to see where they started and where they've gotten to. And it allowed me something to reach towards, because I had lost my identity in the music at that time. So then my next goal was, I'm going to help Tyson win the world, and I'm going to be a great wife, whatever it takes, and a great mom. So I had that in between. I'll tell you, like for 2 or 3 years, I did not pick up my guitar. Not once.
Really?
I would sit around my house. Tyson would say to me, why do you not like sing in the shower anymore? Why do you play your guitar? But I was just so bitter from I felt like my chance in music was taken, because I would see my friends like Thomas Rhett and Walker Hayes and these guys having all these number ones. And I couldn't watch a country music award show, because I'm like, I was there last year. I should still be there. I think it was because the door shut, and it wasn't from me doing anything, or in my opinion, not having good enough music. It was the record label. But in Nashville, when a record label shuts down, it's not like you're just let go and you can go find another record deal. You're held in that deal still until all the stuff happens. So you really do kind of miss that window of opportunity. So I had kind of just figured that part of life had sailed, that ship had sailed. And it's like, well, now I'm going to have to be a really good businesswoman, because, the singing thing, I had an amazing 10 years. And I was doing my own national tours in Australia, and I felt like, well, I had a good shot. Little did I know that, the door would reopen again, and then we'd both be going a million miles an hour. But sometimes it doesn't happen in our timing.
Yeah, I actually want to go into that a little bit more with you, because you guys are a family of faith. And so you obviously really rely on your relationship with the Lord, and you understand, it's all a part of God's plan. But you had mentioned that was a hard time when that door shut on you, because that was your whole identity. How do you manage, your expectations of that being your identity, that not being, your life anymore though? How did you do all that? I know you had the businesses, but really deep down, how did that make you feel? How did you get through those struggles?
It's like anything. I was very good at covering it up and staying busy doing other things. Obviously, when all people know you for is music, every time you see somebody, the question is, how's your music? And I would never lie. I would just be like, oh, it's going great. Thanks for asking. But I wasn't going to that was hard. And Tyson felt like the same thing when he retired from rodeo. The first thing people would say is what are you doing now? And he's like, well, I'm trying to figure that out. So
well, and sometimes it stinks as human beings we forget that it's okay to just sit still for a minute. Like he didn't have to be doing anything. He just poured
Yeah.
however many years into being on the road and
Mhm.
winning and doing well, you know. But yeah,
Yeah, no, it was definitely, I feel like social media makes everything just seem like it's fairy tales and bubbly. And that's partly because we post it that way. Like I know in that time between my singing, I was still posting music stuff just because I was trying to figure out what that was. But I will say when like I just had to trust the process. I really did. I had to stay busy with other things and trust that my identity I was gonna feel like my identity was somewhere else. And that's when the businesses came. Like when I started Shea Baby, I remember working so hard and I just had boots. And Tyson will tell you, Tyson told me multiple times, he's like, you really should just stop doing this because like you spend like hours and hours and you haven't grown anymore the last 3 years. Like it's just stationary and standstill. And I was like, I'm not quitting. I don't quit. I'm going to figure this out. And that's when I then was like, I branched into the clothing and it was just amazing because literally it was like, we went from like people being not just Tyson, but like, oh, you probably don't need to be wasting your time on this, find something else to like. Our first store was Cavanaugh's. Our second store was
yeah.
Buckley's. And it just like literally our garage turned into my warehouse because I had no clue like where all this product was going, but I wasn't going to turn these orders down. Like and I don't have a business degree. I had to figure it out. Make a lot of phone calls like, okay, what do I do with this? And it
Getting
was a
into
lot.
Cavenders though, and but like all that, I mean, that's impressive. That's
But that's
awesome.
that's solely like that doesn't happen by my own doing. That's definitely like a God thing of him being like, okay, you stayed very patient and you worked hard through these times that you weren't making much, but like you didn't shut the doors because I just didn't feel like he wanted me to. And then like, bam. And like, it's been the last couple of years has just been like, I grew up as a little girl. I would always have my goals and dreams on my door. And one of them was like, oh, model for a clothing line in America, marry an NFL cowboy. Like I had all these little things. And like when I had like model for a company, like I thought that was the biggest thing I was going to do in the States. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, like I literally had my own company in these stores. Like I just could have never even fathomed that growing up. I mean, my parents, we had times that we didn't have very much money. We had times that, we've gone through the hardships, but just sitting here and being
Hmm.
like, how the heck did this happen? This country girl doesn't have a degree, like, and I'm designing clothes and selling to these stores. And it's just, I feel like you just have to stick with things a little bit longer than a lot of people do and be willing to there's that saying that if you're like somebody's always working harder than you, and I was never going to be that person. Like I was always going to make, if I failed it wasn't because lack of like work, and I still do. Like I'm very present when our kids are home, so when they come home from school the work's off, but then when they go to bed at 9 o'clock I spend time with Tyson, and then when he goes to bed then I stay up till 1 a.m. and then I
Yeah,
get up.
you're good at keeping on a schedule of to make
But
I guess the
and
Ferris wheel go round.
I have a lot of business friends that say they miss so much their kids' lives because they're building businesses, and I won't be that. If I have to build at a slower rate, but still be present, because I just know that time passes. And it's even like when Tyson had retired, we had more time at home. But when
Hmm.
he decided he was going to unretire, so many people were like, "Do you support this?" I'm like, "Well, yeah, I actually do." And they're like, "You're crazy! Like, how is this going to work?" And I'm like, it's not who cares? We will figure it out.
To make it
It's
work.
gonna be hard, but we'll figure it out. We'll make it work. We always have. So we actually all went out as a family this summer for 6 weeks. We got a bus. We went out. I was still able to work. And then I did a lot of shows and TV stuff based around those rodeo towns. So it actually worked out just fine. I mean, I think that like we have to be okay to ask for help when needed. Tyson's
Hmm.
out, obviously he was out the entire summer. So I've had to have help if I'm going and doing events and so forth. But you just make it work. If you want something bad enough, you're going to make it work. And there's going to be times that like, it's not all airy fairy. Like sometimes I'm like, what are we doing? Like,
Yeah,
what the heck? But you're only young once, youngish, like we are
yeah.
once.
Yeah. And how cool is it? What do you think is so valuable about your kids? One, being able to experience this journey, this life with you guys and everything you're doing, but to see both of their parents kind of going out, working hard, and living their dreams.
Well, really for me, the reason I got back into music was solely because of them. I still vividly remember our 8-year-old daughter saying, she said to me one day, she's like, Mom, I've never seen you perform. And I was like, well, you have, you were just too young. And she's like, why aren't you doing it? And I was like, well, that's a really good question. I don't know. Maybe because I don't know if my time's passed, or I don't know if people want to hear it anymore. But she's kind of what got the ball rolling again for me in my mind. Like, well, maybe I could. Like, so for me, it was about showing them that, like, it's not too young or too old to follow your dreams. They get to experience that with us, having them be able to come with us and experience that. Like, I remember as a little girl going to the PBR events with my dad and watching him compete, and how many amazing memories we created doing that. But they are a big part of it, because my goal is to get back touring again in Australia and here in the States. That's the long-term plan. But they were behind the scenes shooting the music videos, and they got to see it all. But they've seen the good and the bad. They don't see all the pretty stuff.
Well, and again, I think it's important. And I think you and Tyson are being such great examples as parents, just showing them, like you said, you're never too young, too old. Like, if you want something, you got to work, but this is how you're going to work for it and go for it. And I think that's just a valuable lesson that children, when they're exposed to that, it's just so important. Speaking of music videos, you had one recently just drop. I was waiting for this to drop because I know behind this, we got to talk at NFR, but then you had shot this music video in the Fort Worth Stockyards, so iconic, with a lot of great friends of yours. Tell me about that.
Yes, that was so much fun. So I actually flew my Australian music director over for, I was like, look, come for 2 weeks. We're going to shoot 3 videos in Texas. Like, this is how we're going to do it. Because I need to keep some Aussie-ness in what I was doing, since I do have a big presence back home. But when we decided to do this video down the Stockyards, I was like, this is going to be perfect. It's like, Tyson, I was like, okay, give me a list of like cute cowboy friends you've got that rodeo. I'm like, we got to have like legit looking cowboys here. It can't look fake. So then he listed off guys, and we've seen who was here and who wasn't. But yeah, there's lots of cameos for like actual rodeo contestants in there. And then like Elise from the Cowboy Channel is in there. My girlfriend Chelsea, won Farmers Once a Wife. She's one of the girls. And so it was really fun, like watching it back and being able to, like, if you watch it hard enough, you'll see all these different people in the background. But yeah, it was fun because we were at a bar at 6 a.m. And I was like, okay, because we had to be done by the time the bar actually opened. So I said to all the
I didn't even think of that.
I said to all the extras, I was like, look, you have to be there at 6 a.m. And of course, some of the guys were like, are they serving liquor still at 6 a.m.? And I was like, we'll make sure everyone has a good time. But yeah, there's a scene where Tyson like asks for like 2 beers, and I'm like, he doesn't even drink. It's hilarious. I'm like, yeah, you were really realistic there, babe. 2 waters is probably what he was saying. But no, it was super, super, super fun being able to kind of have that like cowgirl sexy vibe. I knew the first single I released back after taking a break, I had to be a little bit more, I thought I just had to make a little bit more smarter choice, like release something that had showed my journey, that wasn't so like, hey there, because I'm not for kids. But after the first song was, it was received so well, I thought, all right, now I can get back into like who I am as a singer. And it was a lot of fun, especially shooting it here in Texas. But I will say, when we shot these music videos, it was when there was that like monsoon for 2 weeks, literally.
Yeah.
12 inches of rain in like 3 days. The 3 days we were shooting, we had tents, and we were having to wait every like split second the rain would go. We'd have to put the drone up, and it was wild shooting the music videos, but it was definitely a lot of fun.
So you write songs with friends. I think Walker Hayes, obviously. I mean, you had mentioned me, and I know you guys wrote a song together. Over the years, well, I want you to talk about that a little bit more, but also over the years, has there ever been music when you're writing, you're sitting there and you're like, this is it? Or has there ever been times where you're like, I should just move on from this song because this isn't coming together?
I've had lots of those, like,
okay.
Yeah, this isn't working, or what did I just write? Yeah, those happen often. I think people don't realize, like, for every like 20 songs you write, one might be like great. Like, that's just part of it.
Okay.
But I will say, the song, for me, my best songs are the ones that come about super quick. Take Me Back to Texas was a really quick song we wrote as well. And I wrote that with Jessie Jo Dillon, who's a Grammy Award-winning songwriter. Her dad is Dean Dillon, super famous songwriter. But like when I knew I wanted to write something about the missing of Texas and my roots, I was like, I got to get a country girl because otherwise it just doesn't sound right. But Jesse and I wrote that song super quick. And then Owen Cowboy, when I moved to Nashville, I had my handful of songwriters that I just loved to work with, and Walker was one. He is such. What I loved about him is he was such a great family man, and like you could go in a room with Walker, just me and him, and you felt so comfortable. He could be at the time drinking a beer, and you'd be laughing, and he'd be talking about his family. Like he just was. He was the
I
type
love
of
that.
guy that you never would have strayed, if that makes sense. You just felt so
Mm-hmm.
comfortable. He was never hitting on you. He was just like a good hang. And it was, we'd write songs and we'd go to the bar and cheers and have a drink. Like it's just, he was that
Yeah.
kind of guy. And then he'd go home. But the creativity that would come out in the rooms with him, because he kind of does things a little different. He writes the melodies first. So we'd write all the melody and we'd record it on like his Pro Tools. And then we'd start the lyrics, which is kind of backwards to most of the time. But like when we did this melody, I was like, okay, that's really weird from the verse to the chorus. Like, how are we going to make this work, Walker? And he's like, well, let's talk. So we talk, and we were talking about, he said, well, tell me about your husband. Like, what is it about a cowboy that makes him so sexy? So I started telling him about like the swagger and the different things. And then we were taking notes. And then he's like, well, isn't there the letters ow in cowgirl as well? Like, we can do something with that. So we just started writing, and this song probably took 45 minutes. And we had it demoed for like 5 years before I ever recorded it. And I was like, Walker, okay,
Wow.
I was like, I need you to help produce this song. I was like, because it's just so Walker. Like, I can't have somebody else produce it. So him and his guitarist agreed to do it. But Walker and I have probably got, I don't know, probably 10 songs together. So, my album will have multiple songs with him on it, but I just really loved his vibe. He just is so unique. And it's funny because his vibe was so different that he had lost multiple record deals in Nashville, had some
Mm.
of the same songs that came out that did well 5 years earlier that everybody said would never work, but it just wasn't the right timing. So, I just love every bit of success I see him have because I'm like, man, like I seen where he, was having to barely be able to put fuel in his car and having to really,
Yeah.
have like 6 or 7 kids. Like, Lordy, I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine how
No.
you do life. That's a lot. And he just was. He is a great friend and a great guy. He messages me and just, he'll message me now about stuff, and we just have always kept in touch. And he's still very humble with all his success.
Yeah, and I know that's important. I mean, in the very beginning, you said it's all of this. I mean, from the rodeo life to the music life and just home life in general, surrounding yourself with good people and supportive friendships is so, so important. Um, so, speaking of all of that, where you guys are today, I mean, Tyson, you said this to me at NFR on the tailgate show, and I'll never forget it. And you said 2025 is going to be a big year for us. You're going to see us doing a lot of things, and you obviously expanded on that. But I guess I didn't. I mean, you did say Tyson's going to get back out and rope. Like you will see us at NFR. You will see me doing X, Y, Z, and you're doing a lot of those things.
But I still remember it. I'm pretty sure the conversation went, where's Tyson at? And I said, well, he's actually home with the kids. But I guarantee you, after being home for a few days with the kids by himself, he's going to come out of retirement. And then we all laughed. And then I went home, and a week later, he's like, you know what? I think I'm going to come out of retirement. I'm like, I
Okay,
literally
yeah,
just said that on TV 3 days ago,
you
and
did.
now you're coming out of retirement. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, what are we serious? Like, it literally, y'all, it took me by surprise as much as everybody else. I mean, he had announced his retirement on the Cowboy Channel.
Yeah.
He had sold every horse we didn't own. So he says, I'm coming out of retirement. I say, what are you going to ride? You don't own a horse. We'll figure it out. What are we going to take to the rodeos? Oh, we'll get something. I'm like, okay, right, let's do this. So he had no horses, no trailer and truck. I mean, literally no sponsors because he was just, I'm like,
Yeah.
now I'm going to get you sponsors again. Like, what the heck? What are we doing? But I don't know. I feel like when when God's not done with you, I feel like you don't get released from it until it's his timing. So I felt like Tyson wasn't done when he retired. Deep down, I said that to him. But I think now it's a cooler comeback story. Like he's literally double the age of probably half of the guys that will make the NFR.
Yeah. And again,
I
the
always
kids get to watch him. and
I
remember
know,
it
and I
this
always
time.
say to him, I say, with age comes experience and knowledge. So there may
Hmm.
be younger guys who may be like more agile, but they don't come with the experience and the knowledge and the wisdom. That's like me, like, giving the pep talk,
That's so funny. That's so great. Okay, well, we have some games to play. So
Okay,
switching gears a little bit.
do
This
it.
one's called Break the Ice. We have several things, but this one's Break the Ice. What is an interesting habit you have that people might be surprised?
Oh, well, I drink coffee to go to sleep. That's so weird.
Oh,
Yeah, like
so
it
it
doesn't.
doesn't give you it doesn't give you that.
Oh, I mean, it does during the day, but like to wind down, I like will literally drink caffeine. It's very strange.
That's funny. Do you have a guilty pleasure?
Man, I love Australian chocolate. That's my guilty pleasure. Sneaking in the
Ooh,
pantry that the kids can't see, and I hide my Australian chocolate because they would eat it all if they could, and just like I know I'm fit and healthy, but y'all, a piece of chocolate's you're gonna
I
be
was
okay.
gonna say, yeah, you
Yeah.
are regimented. You're good about taking care of yourself and working out and eating well, but I love that Australian chocolate.
Hey,
Do you
so and my other guilty pleasure is watching The Bachelorette. Like just the
Oh,
best
oh yes.
show.
Okay.
I'm telling you, like, put that on. And Tyson's like, what are you watching? I'm like, I don't
He's like,
care. It's
"Why?"
great. It's like a dumb watch and it makes my mind just chill out. So that's a
Yeah,
guilty pleasure.
I
Yeah.
love that. Favorite condiment to use in excess? Do you put like mustard or ranch or anything? Is there a condiment that you use in
Okay,
excess?
so in Australia, we don't put much spice on our foods. And Tyson actually hates Australian food. He's like, there's no flavor. So I had to learn how to use more like salts and stuff when cooking here.
Oh,
They don't use it in Australia. So I probably the opposite. Like Tyson will be over there pouring a whole bottle of salt on the steaks. And I'm like, hey, let's like chill up a
you're
little
like,
bit.
"No."
Tyson uses his excess it's in his salt. So that he has that habit, not me. Mm-mm.
You're like, "No."
No.
Is there something you wish you were better at?
I really, really suck at golf. And it looks
Oh,
so fun. And I love tennis outfits, and that looks so fun, but the ball is so small.
you're like, "I can't
Give
do
me
it."
football, basketball, like I am athletics. Like I represented Australia in track and field. But those dang balls I'm like, I would love to play golf and tennis and just like not just wear the cute outfits and be good.
I love that. Do you have a hidden talent?
I mean, I rode bulls. I don't know if that's a talent.
Yeah, that is wild.
I
That
did.
is
I mean,
people would be
maybe that.
surprised to know
I
that.
mean, my my dad. This kind of sounds gross, but as kids, after we would bath, my dad would be like, if our toenails needed cutting, he's like, "I'll just put them, just chew them. They're clean." Just so like I'm very flexible. Don't do that too much anymore because Tyson's like, "Yeah, that's not gonna work." But our daughter literally will have a bath, and I'm like, "Oh, her toenails are cut nice and short now."
Yeah.
So yeah, so I'm flexible to bring my feet up higher.
I love that. Um, Something that makes you laugh that, would be, I mean, what's something that really makes you laugh?
The ridiculous things that children say, like that's such a mom answer. But seriously, my son last night said, "Mom, can people pop their eyeballs out? Because I really want to see my eyes." I'm like, no. Like, they just say some of the stuff they say. I'm just like, we really need a book. Like it's just, and you have to just be serious because they're really serious when they ask it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is insane. The stuff they ask. Yeah, you
You're
just
like,
wait.
mm-mm.
Mhm.
Well, this is funny. If you could participate on one reality TV series, what would that be?
Uh, if I didn't have to
Okay.
go on for 30 days or that special forces one, blitz,
Yeah.
I love like a challenge. Like I would thrive with the special forces one or Survivor, where it's just like really hard and really terrible, but like there's a great outcome. I used to watch Survivor when I was a kid growing up my whole life.
I love Survivor too.
But I'm like, you got to be gone for so long. And then I got asked about doing Amazing Race, but it's like
I was just
30,
gonna say, would you not ever, you and Tyson do Amazing Race or
but
something
it's
like that?
30 days. Like
Oh, I
literally,
didn't realize it's that
yeah, it's
long.
30 days. My girlfriend did it. If we didn't have kids, I'd be like, let's do this. But
Yeah.
30 days, there's just no way. Like, I mean, when the kids are older, I'll be like, bring on Amazing Race. I mean, people will be very entertained because like we would have like we would disagree on things for sure. Like I don't like I think I know a lot and I really don't. And it would be very entertaining. We would be very entertaining. Man,
I
we might
like
not
that.
would be entertaining because we'd be just sprint in the wrong direction and just like, as long as we're going fast, that's all that matters.
Yeah. I love that. If you had a sandwich named after you, what would it be called and what would be on it?
Okay, well, I'm Australian, so maybe like, what is something Australian? Oh my goodness. It has to be like sweet but spicy, the sandwich, because I feel like I have
Okay.
like both personalities. Like I can be sweet, but then I'm like pretty spicy. So maybe like, oh, I don't know. Like, what would you say? What's yours?
I don't know. I'm like, I always wondered. I was like, gosh, I hope these
I mean,
questions never get
okay,
asked to
so
me.
take this. Okay, you know, like mango that tastes really good with like the spicy stuff on top. Like that's me in a nutshell because it's
Yeah.
sweet, but it's spicy. I mean, I don't really think that would taste very good in a sandwich, but like that's my
But if
food.
that was the
Describe who
food,
you
we could
eat.
just do any food then. It
Okay,
could just be like the Aussie. We'll just call it the
The
Aussie.
Aussie mango spice. There you go.
Yes. If you had to watch only one movie the rest of your life, what movie would that be?
Man, The Notebook. It's just the
Um,
cutest. I'm such a hopeless romantic.
I
I'm
love
having to
that. The
teach
Notebook.
Tyson. I'm like, hey, you probably should watch The Notebook a few more times. Well, like the walk to remember, I'm like trying to like get him up to date on like the like, hey, you're a cowboy, but let's like bring on this
Yeah.
romance. Yeah, I mean, I'm always a sucker for good romance for sure.
Is there a really distinct moment of pride in your life so far that it really sticks out to you that makes you just really proud and prideful?
I think a couple things that make me just like so proud is a me and Tyson both taking the risk to get back into doing things we love doing. Huge risk. A lot of people thought we were crazy, but I'm really proud that we're both, you know, it's doing well and we're both working hard. But I'm also really proud watching like our girls now want to be in front of the microphone and our sons wanting to rope everything. So seeing what we're doing passed down the generation is a huge, you know, proud mom moment for me. And I guess a proud wife moment is seeing Tyson out in the road. Like rodeo road's not easy, y'all. Like, I mean, it's the NFL looks like glitz and glamour, but then also, you know, the families back home. I was talking to a rodeo wife. I'm like talking to her. She hasn't seen her husband for 6 weeks. She hasn't had the ability to do what I do, fly in and out. And I'm like, if only people knew, like there's a wife at home or a girlfriend at home that's holding everything down, that's making these other dreams come true. So I'm just very grateful and proud that me and Tyson are able to do it together and support each other, because it's hard when you're both, you know, are determined and following your goals and dreams, but we really do have each other's back. So that makes me, I guess, proud.
Yeah, that's cool. And that's just so true. Okay, this one's called This or That Cowgirl CEO Edition. So I'll ask you, this or that, and you just quick fire choices to show off all sides of your business, music, and motherhood. Custom buckles or rhinestone boots.
Custom buckles.
Texas brisket or Aussie barbecue.
Aussie barbecue.
Ooh, okay.
Brisket's a little fatty for me.
Okay. A fit with Shea or Shea baby photo shoot.
A fit with Shea. Exercise makes me happy.
Okay. Writing songs or designing products?
Ooh, dang.
That's a tough one.
Writing songs. If I'm going to pick for me, probably. I don't know. That's a
Yeah.
really tough.
Nap time or gym time?
Gym.
You're like, I don't need to sleep. We're
I
good.
can nap when I'm dead, is what I say.
Yep. My older sister used to always say that. So when we were going down the road showing cattle, we're like, yep, we'll just sleep when we're dead. It's fine.
Yep, we're good.
Cowgirl confession. So this is a chance for just fun, heartfelt honesty, and then you just finish the sentence.
Okay.
I feel most like myself when.
I'm on the back of a horse.
Ooh, that's cool.
It's my me time.
I like that. The last time I laughed until I cried was.
Every day with these children and my husband. I'm like, oh my gosh. Yes, we have a lot of laughs. Probably last night, my son asked me if I could pull out my eyeballs for him.
Yeah. Yeah. You're like, sometimes I do want to pull out my eyeballs. Let me tell you.
And my hair.
Yeah, and my hair. Motherhood has taught me
Patience and selflessness.
That's good. Country music is my way of
not having to pay for therapy and expressing my emotions.
It's great.
It's free therapy, y'all. Start writing songs. So, and hey, that's the issue. If you date somebody who's a songwriter, like there's literally, I mean, there's a song written about every guy I've dated, I swear.
Although that's so great. The biggest pinch me moment in all of this has been.
Okay, there's been two moments. When I sung at the NFR and I opened the NFR, that was a pinch me moment because as a little girl, I dreamt of even going to the NFR, let alone performing in the opening. So that was huge. And then the other day, I sung the national anthem for the first time ever, but it was at a Texas Rangers game. And that was pretty pinch me because it's pretty dang cool when 50,000 people are singing along with you. So that, and I mean, I'm like, go big or go home. I've literally never sung this song before, like at an event. So we're just going to do it right now. And that was a cool moment standing on the field, looking up.
Yeah, that's really, really cool. That's really special. Okay, this is Buckles, business, or breakdown. So name a wild moment, but you have to guess whether it happened while, or you tell me whether it happened while running your buckle business, launching the business, or managing mom life. So, example, burn dinner while answering customer DMs.
Okay. Probably music, like me personal, like my personal page. I was probably scrolling. Yes.
You're like, oh, and I need to respond to this. Shipped a custom order to the wrong rodeo queen.
Yeah. Was distracted. Definitely distracted in business. I've done that before.
Recorded vocals in a closet during nap time.
Oh, yeah, for sure. 100%. Yeah. I mean, I recorded my whole first album in a closet. That's where the whole thing was recorded. But it wasn't in nap time, but it was recorded in a closet.
That is great. Mistook diaper cream for hand lotion mid Zoom call.
Haven't done that one. Tyson has used icy hot instead of like cream before on
Yeah.
himself.
He's like, oh, great. That is not what I wanted.
But he definitely has used the wrong cream before.
That is funny. Okay, this is called Mom Life Real Talk. So just a few fun fast mom-centered truths. So most unexpected place you've taken a business call while, being with the kids, handling the children, all of that.
I poured a toilet
Okay.
because it was too noisy outside, and mom had the kids at a rodeo. I had to go sit somewhere quiet.
You're like, I'm going in the porta potty. There you
I bet
go.
I sold some dang buckles. That's for sure.
A kid snack you secretly love.
Man, I love the yogurt bites. They're the
Yeah.
best. They're so good, so good.
I knew I was a mom when this moment happened. Like you were really doing momming stuff.
Yeah. I mean, when you can clean up poop or puke and be okay with it, like you're a mom, like because that's strange that it's okay. But when you're a mom, it's just like, oh yeah.
What do we do? Yeah. Rodeo outfit emergency. Have you ever had one of those and with the kids? Because the kids are always dressed so cute when you guys were just even on the road this summer.
Had them myself, like singing. I was mortified once I was performing. I was just in my younger days, and I used to sing in heels. I don't know why, and then I changed to boots. But my heel broke when I kicked, and the heel flung out to the audience. Literally, the heel of my boot was in the audience, and then I had to like walk like I was just like too embarrassed to just take my shoes off. Now I wouldn't care. Or a moment where like you have your sticky boobs on and it's so dang hot.
Hot.
Anymore, and then you've got to sing like this and like keep them on. Like I just should have thrown them off. Like you get a lot more confidence with age. That's been a few moments. I mean, I always kept a bazillion changes of clothes because there was going to be blowouts and puke, and something was going to happen. So like I definitely am a prepared mom in the early stages when we go out in public. Like if you need something, just call me. I got it.
You're like, I've got this. Okay, so switching gears now again. I guess for anybody that's listening to this or they'll watch it as well, what's some of the best advice you've ever been given that you think it's, important to share with others?
Yeah, there's a few things, but one for me that my dad always instilled into me as a little girl is that don't be afraid to fail. I know it's typical. Everybody says that, but seriously, I think as a country girl, if you grow up in a ranch or the Western way of lifestyle, this is kind of embedded into you. I mean, the amount of times we've been thrown off a horse or bucked off a horse or something happened and we just get back on. And I think it's the same in life. If you're not willing to fail at something, you probably shouldn't try and do it, because where the real story comes is how you pick yourself up from the failure, because that's what then that's what transitions you into the next thing that's coming in life. And I would always fuel myself off negativity. So you can either take negativity two ways. You can either dwell on it and let it upset you, or you can take those negative comments and want to prove people wrong and have them as, wood on your fire to just make you go and work harder. And I always did that. Even in the young stages when people said I wasn't good enough, or it would be funny, like a booking agent wouldn't book me for a festival. And I would just be like, I'm going to get so good this next year that they're going to come back to me and want to book me. And they would, and they'd pay me triple of what they were the year before. And I would never hold a grudge. I'd be like, okay, sure, I'll come play for you. I'm glad that now you're paying me 3 times the amount. Like, I would always use it to fuel my fire. So that's one thing that I really try and instill to my kids. Like, it's okay to lose. You got to be a good loser to be a great winner. And that means with business, that means with everything, because you're going to try a lot of things in life and have a lot of doors closed. But the ones that open are the ones that need to open. So, yeah.
I love that. A good loser to be a great winner. That's
Mhm.
great advice. That's really,
I hate
really good.
losing, but
Yeah.
I figure out how to get up from losing for sure.
Talking about negative things being said towards you, being thrown into such a spotlight at such a young age, how did you grow and evolve and manage just the negativity that would also come your way? Because obviously there's a lot of positive people, there's a lot of great things that are said and compliments given, but on the flip side, there's people who are just, somebody I feel peed in their Cheerios and they just want to be mean to people. So,
Yeah.
how do you handle that?
Yeah. I mean, I handle it a lot better now, I will say, but thankfully, when I was signed at 16, social media wasn't as big as it is now. It was still there.
Hmm.
You just have to block them out. I mean, if you're seriously going to go and read every comment and every DM, you're going to be in trouble. I mean, I literally get the dumbest people that DM me, like just stupid stuff. Like, take one lady the other day, I think it's hilarious. It's like, take this in all love, but your teeth are really bad. They need working on. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I'm 37. Like, I'm doing okay. I'll be fine. My teeth are just fine. Like, they just find like the stupidest things to say behind their computer, or when I was younger, it was hard because I was 16 and I had
Yeah.
such my market was young girls, so like I couldn't do anything. I couldn't have, even if it was water in a red Solo cup, because somebody would write and say I was drinking. I just had to be so careful with every single thing I did and said and wore, and so that was the biggest challenge, because I was having to follow so many rules with my label, and I
Mm.
understand why, but it was hard. I see how these young artists that are coming, they go out of these Disney characters and then they come into grow into who they want to be, and it's a hard transition for sure. I mean, even in today's world, people, I mean, it doesn't matter if you're well known or not, people are just going to find things to talk about. And I always said, if somebody is not talking about you, well, you are not being successful enough, and people only talk if they're jealous. um, why would you talk about somebody if you weren't jealous about them? Because negativity comes from jealousy. So I
Mhm.
just feel like I look at those people and I pray for them, because there is always going to be the most ridiculous stories that go around, and people say stuff, but these people have nothing better to do. So
Yeah,
you just,
they don't.
you can't. I say it to the girls, and my girls, we go to a great little private Christian school, but I've said to the girls, like, mean people are just jealous people. So just take it as a compliment that you're doing something right.
Actually, I was telling somebody the other day, they said, "Oh, well, this person was talking about you." And I just said, "You know what? Let them. If they're talking about me, it saves them from talking about somebody else and I can handle it. So,
Yeah, for
maybe
sure.
that other person can't, right?
Yeah,
It's
no,
just like you
yeah.
just take it with a grain of salt. If people ask you, what's it like to be, or how do I get married to a cowboy, because especially after the Yellowstone effect, like everybody romanticized
Yeah, yeah,
ranching and being with a
yeah.
cowboy. I mean, what do you tell them?
I mean, it's not just an easy way of life. Like, it depends what type of cowboy. If you're being married to a pro rodeo athlete, you have to understand your husband or partner is gone for half the year. So you're either going to figure out how to both keep your careers, or you're going to have to give up something if you want to be with your man. There's a lot of sacrifices that come with this life. There's even a lot of sacrifices that come with, living on a ranch. You don't get to just wake up and lay in bed and sleep. And you got to get up and do chores. You got to get up, like, stuff animals need taken care of. I will say that it is a great life. And with being married to a cowboy should most of the time come with a guy of integrity and manners. if being raised right, knows how to treat a lady. There's a lot of those things that are missing in the world, like the yes ma'am, the yes sir, the shake of a hand. But that also comes with a lot of sacrifice. So I would just say you got to be willing to get your hands dirty and sacrifice a lot, ladies, but it is a fun life, I will say.
Yeah, and well worth it. Well, we are almost out of time, but we like to wrap up our show with if you had a diary, which you're a songwriter, so this is actually what you do all the time. So
Yeah.
me saying this to you, it's what you constantly are doing. But if you had a diary that you could write a journal entry right now, for your daughters, for their future selves to read, what would you want it to say?
Like we said before, I would just tell them, no matter what, don't give up on your dreams and goals. Don't let people bring you down. And one important thing is it's okay to be different. Being different is what makes you unique. There's already somebody else out there. You don't need to be like them. So just really be a leader, not a follower. I feel like one thing I try to tell the girls is God gave us emotions for a reason. It's okay to cry, because crying, then you can celebrate after. So that's a hard one, because I'm like, oh my gosh, giving it to the girls. One day I'll be old or not here. But yeah, I just really want to teach my kids to be okay with being unique and different, not having to try and fit this mold, because the world we live in, everything we see is fake online or social media. And we want to try and be something that we're just not. And that brings anxiety and people not to be happy. Just be you. Who cares what everyone thinks? I don't care. I'm currently wearing shorts and a cute vest because we're on a podcast. Clearly I don't care.
I think it's great, just, profession up top, party on the bottom. It's fine.
It's too
That's what
hot
it's
in
meant to
Texas,
be.
right? I mean, I
Oh,
know I'm
way too hot.
inside my living room, but it's too hot in Texas.
Oh my gosh. Oh, well, Shea, thank you so much. Again, I got to see you not that long ago, but you are just going in a million different directions. So you making the time to just chat with me on Dirt Diaries, I really, really appreciate it. And so excited for, now the new music video that dropped and all the exciting things that are happening for you and your family. Can't wait to see how 2025 wraps up.
I know, I'm so excited to do this call, because a lot of these podcasts I do, I'm like, they don't know what a horse is or rodeo or anything. So this is just like chatting to a friend. So I appreciate it. Thank you for having me. I'm super pumped, and I love what you're doing as well.
Well, thank you. Okay. Well, that's it for Dirt Diaries. Thank you, Shea. Catch you down the road.
See you, girl.
Bye. That's it for today's episode of Dirt Diaries, where the women of ag leave no story untold. If you loved what you heard, be sure to subscribe, leave us a review, and share it with someone else. Until next time, keep showing up, speaking out, and getting your hands dirty.